visiting today, I have this instrument. It's a pocket trumpet made by Jupiter. It's a JPT-416L. It's quite an old one. It says on the bell, Jupiter, KHS Musical Instrument, Taiwan. They stopped putting KHS on the bell a number of years ago. KHS is the company that makes Jupiter instruments. It's actually the third or fourth pocket trumpet that I've owned. The first one I had was also made by KHS, but it was one of their earlier models, which was not quite up to this standard. I've also owned a Whirl. The Whirl was made in Brazil. It was a very good instrument based on the Bench design. It had a slightly bigger bell than this. And I've also owned one of the Chinese ones, Thomann, which had a full-size bell, and I wasn't convinced because it was getting on for the size of a full-size cornet. This instrument has got very good valves. It's also got adjustable third valve tuning slide, which you work with your thumb, which is very smooth. I always think the pocket trumpets sound more like cornets, and I tend to play them on slightly deeper mouthpiece, so I'm using my Horn Trader HT3 on here, which I think gives it a more pleasing sound in relation to the smaller bell. The great thing about these instruments is that you can take them away quite easily, wrap them in a jumper at the bottom of your suitcase, take them on holiday. You can put a practice mute in it and play it in a hotel room if you need to practice when you're away from home. That's one of the main uses. If you look at it closely, what it really is a bugle with valves. A British military bugle looks very similar to this, but without the valves. And in fact, there are Higham bugles with valves that were made in the 19th century, which I suppose are the beginnings of this type of instrument. To compare it to a full-size B-flat trumpet, this is the same length of tubing, but it's wound into a tighter shape, so this side is a bit like a cornet the way it's wound up. But on this side, the bell is made in a couple of sections that are wound up very tightly, but it gives you a full B-flat size. I have my B-flat trumpet here, full-size one. So it's about half the length of a normal B-flat trumpet in physical size. It's also a little bit lighter than this trumpet, but this is a professional model, it's quite heavy. Probably the quality of this is student stroke intermediate level. I do quite like the look of it because the lacquer is almost an orange colour. I think it's just with age. But it does play well, and I think this is a very viable instrument for someone who needs a portable instrument maybe to carry with them when they're travelling. It has a distinct sound of its own, and with the bell being closer to your ear, you tend to hear the notes a little bit differently. So that's something that you might want to bear in mind. It does feel slightly different to play on this. But that's it really. One thing to say though, the case. I'll show you the case that this came in. It's not much bigger than the instrument, and it contains inside it room for a bottle of oil and a cloth. So it's quite a nice hard case that would protect this in transit. So that's the Jupiter trumpet, and I hope you found this useful. You can maybe leave a comment if you have one of these, or if you have tried a pocket trumpet, what you have found about them. But that's all for now. Bye.